This is the Infinity Summit Group. Truth, passion, success. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Infinity Summit Group podcast. One more time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Infinity Summit Group podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about a book on flipping houses by Jay Scott. My name is Xavier.
Logan.
Jesse.
And today, we're going to be missing Noah. He is currently in California learning to fly, doing some lessons out there, and checking out the scenery. So, as well as that, we're going to have a little bit of a shorter podcast today just because we're going over the book, and it shouldn't take us that long. So, yeah, and then we'll get back to you next week. But anyway, let's get started on the book on flipping houses.
That is the name, by the way.
Yeah, that's the actual name of the book.
It is the book on flipping houses
book on
by
flipping
Jay
houses.
Scott. It's a Bigger Pockets podcast guy, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Or he's part of that company at least.
And they have multiple good books that we would highly recommend as a group.
Yeah. Plus, the Bigger Pockets actual website's really
and their
cool,
podcast is pretty good, so I've heard. Noah says it's good.
too. Okay, I haven't listened to it yet, but
Neither
I'll
have I,
get
but
into it.
Noah said it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll link all those below. We'll link the book if you guys want to check that out. I'm just going to go over my thoughts on the book without diving too deep into it first. I thought it was a really good book. I think the time to read this book is if you're actually serious about flipping houses and you need like a guide. It's a really good guide if you start reading it right before or even read it during your process of buying.
Like reference it during it.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's got a lot of good information that's usable now.
Exactly. It's basically a guide. It's something you go back to. It's not like a book you just read once and then you're like, oh, I got all that information.
I think it's definitely one of the best flipping house books because it's got so much actual information. A lot of books you got to do this and this, but this is okay, get down to the brass tacks. This is how you get your hire your construction work. What do you call those? Not a
Contractors.
Agents.
Yeah, your contractor.
Yeah.
How to get your agent. How loans, everything. It was.
Yeah, it takes you through step by step with literally everything. So it's perfect if you're in the actual moment of flipping houses or aspiring to do that.
Yeah.
We've also been looking at this. It's a PDF that's called the Flipping Houses: The Ultimate Guide by Brandon Turner, another Bigger Pockets guy. Got a lot of the same information, but it's on a PDF form and it's way shorter.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You can also link that down below as well.
Quite detailed.
But we're just going to try to go over some of the chapters and some of the steps that he says. It's a little hard to go really into the details. If you want those, you might just have to read the book. But basically, the first thing he says to do is prepare for financing. Decide, first it's decide if you actually want to flip houses and if you want to actually get into it and go for it.
Reading the book would be a good way to find out because it's a lot of work flipping houses, and he goes through how much work it is. It would be a good way to see if you're willing to do that much work. I mean, that's basic introductory. Always listen to other books and do your research.
He was talking about how the hardest part the hardest part for people to actually get into flipping houses is saving up the money. So with that being said, they have multiple different resources to actually get the money. You can do zero down on certain loans. I'm not sure how they would do that because I've never experienced that. But
I know, if you're a first time home buyer and you want to live there while you're flipping it, it's only 3 to 5%.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're lucky, you could get to 0.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly because I'm not trying to buy a home currently.
He actually has a part in there. It's a 3-minute piece where he says that's the bad news is you always hear about these things where it's no money down, no credit, no problem. He says that's very unlikely. Have some money, save some money for this because you're gonna need it.
I would recommend
I'm not
at
saying
least
it's impossible.
30 to 50,000 save
so?
up at least.
I think 10 to 20%, like you said, and then you get the loan to cover everything else.
Yeah, I guess depends what region of the country you're in.
Yeah, it depends on where
Yeah.
you are. I was looking in what was it, Nevada? Because I was looking in Utah. Yeah, Nevada's like cheap compared to Utah. Utah is not a good place to
No,
start buying
it's not
real
the right
estate.
place. Well,
I think
like
Utah,
every book says, it's always the right time, but not for us.
No,
I don't have the capital to go in and put $100,000 down to get my 20% or whatever.
no.
No, but on top of that, if you do have good credit, which highly recommend getting credit, it's going to be the most important thing of your life, truthfully. With doing that, just get
Yes, for
4
big
credit
purchases
cards.
at least.
Yeah, bank purchases,
For
loans,
investing.
literally anything in life.
Yeah.
Anything
you need
that costs
credit.
a lot of money.
But with that being said, if you are a first home buyer just starting out in the house flipping market and you want to talk to an investor to try and get them to invest in you, then one of the first things they're going to look at is your credit.
I'd say that
And-
would be the first thing is
Yeah.
build your credit.
Yeah. What's he say? 680 or better, or else they won't even consider.
Yeah. And
So-
680 is not even high.
No, because it goes to what, 850.
Yeah, 850.
Is it?
That's like so hard to
Yeah.
get to though. 850s. I think we had a whole podcast on credit
We did.
scores, but
Mine's sitting at 740 right now.
is it?
Yeah, I
Which-
think I'm at 720-ish.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
even gonna
checking
say
right now.
mine because it's gross.
Yeah, you've done yourself a little dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 720, so not too bad.
No.
Tell you, it's one of my. I don't regret much, but having a bad credit score is something I do regret.
Well, you got a lot of years to fix it too.
Yeah, but not if I want to start things right now. I guess all I can do is build up money and throw it at people now.
Has that actually affected you to this point?
Not well, because I haven't tried to buy a house or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Are you gonna try and buy a home to live in within the next? Well, probably it's the next couple of years, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of doing a house hacking. I was thinking
Yeah,
because I was
that's-
looking at a 3-bedroom. If I can get one, if I can live in one and rent out the other 2, that should cover the mortgage.
Yeah.
That's basically what Garrett does when he had him on. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I think we talked about that. I think Eli did that too.
I think
Yeah.
technically my parents do it because we made our basement.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't pay the whole mortgage, but it definitely pays for some of it.
I think it's a great way to live and not spend money because
It's a great way because it's less.
It's exactly
it's
what you
free
want.
home, yeah.
Yeah.
You get a place to live. Plus, you get renters, and you even if it's just a fraction of your bill, a third of your bill would be so much better than paying the full mortgage.
Yeah. And then you can move out, put
And
another
put a-
renter in there, and
You're golden, yeah.
then you can buy
Exactly.
more houses. Like
well,
it's limitless.
I'm just deciding because I have to figure out what I want to do before February because I'm only going to be in Utah for another year after my lease is up. I got one more year and then I'm leaving.
What? Where you
Yeah.
going?
I don't know.
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
Are you trying to move to Florida?
no, not Florida. I'd probably be a little closer. I was thinking of 2 things. Either I just move out and move to a different state, or I might just buy a van, just drive.
That would
Florida.
actually be sick.
Yeah, just
The van life would be epic.
because I was like thinking, I was
Well-
like, dude, I need to get the hell away from here.
What's
Like,
that
just
gonna
for a bit.
run you though to get a van? Because I mean, you want a Sprinter van at least, right? A nice big van so that you can walk around and stuff. And then what does that run you to fix it? Like put stuff in it? Because you're gonna want a
I
bed and
gotta
stuff.
do some research.
I bet
I know
you'd
could
be
you
upwards
can make
of
it ghetto and get it pretty
100
cheap,
grand plus.
but I bet you would be
easy.
depending on how much you want.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got a year to figure it out. So
And then you have
that's
to get
plenty of
in-
time.
Mobile job.
I'm already starting on that. I mean, I started selling T-shirts. I haven't got any sales yet, but
Yeah.
I'm really looking into that. And
You could also go real heavy into stock market stuff like Noe.
yeah, I was
If
thinking
you
about
could
that
get
too.
enough money in there by then, you could do that. I mean,
Yeah.
And I was thinking about doing something too, is like say for saving money. Now that you brought it up, is if I want to quit nicotine or alcohol, it's like
save
every
you
time I
so
have
much money.
have the thought in my mind, I'm gonna go buy some alcohol, because you're gonna spend that money on that anyway. Why not just
Mhm.
throw it in the stock market instead?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea,
No.
but it's not as fun.
It
Well,
sucks, but
It's
It
not.
could be if you were winning all the time.
I don't know.
I just
That's
don't
not
know
a-
what I'm doing, so I don't think I'd
It's not really a lifestyle I'd be too into at this point.
van life.
Yeah, it's
Not
not really
me
for
either.
me. That's like the cargo container houses.
I don't think
I-
they're bad. I
No,
actually
they're
think
not
they're
bad.
good looking if you do it right, but it's going to cost you the same amount as a regular house.
Sure. And at
Maybe
that point,
cheaper.
why don't you just stay in society?
Yeah.
Well, you can throw up a cargo container house in a city if you
could.
get the permits.
Yeah.
It's just you're not saving that much money, if you ask me.
It just
'Cause you
doesn't feel logical to me.
They look pretty. If you want a
It's-
house
yeah.
that's an art, that's art too.
I think it's more of a crazy thing. Like, I'm standing out. What are you doing with your life? Thing. For me, that's the reason I'm leaving. Is like I don't want to do what everybody else does.
Right.
I just want to try something different.
Well, while we're talking about this, let's talk about the types of financing you could get to do that.
right?
Such a good segue. We've got hard money loans, which would be like investor to investor, right? Where you ask someone and they'll give you just cash that much money. But those are generally a higher percent interest rate, right?
Like 15% plus.
So you pay for it, but I think some of them are less stringent. But
What's
you-
that?
like a bank's not going to loan you so much because you've already got money out.
Right.
But if you went to some investors, and especially if you have a good relationship with them, they'll invest you or give you a shit ton of money.
And this is a better if you have like a lower credit score. Same with crowdfunding as well. There's certain crowdfunding websites. I'm not sure. He did talk about some websites on there. I'd have to go back and reread that chapter of it.
We have a couple right here. We got CrowdStreet, Percent, and Fundraise. Keep in mind, we have not used any of these, so
And
we
they
don't
just
know
came
if
up when
they're...
I searched up real estate crowdfunding.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that was looked up on the fly, so
They're not.
just keep that in mind. We don't know if these websites are legit or not.
Yeah, none of us have flipped houses. So
Right.
I was
Yeah.
actually thinking of starting to do it, but after reading this book, I was like, it's
You
kind
could.
of
I think a good
lot.
way to start would be doing what Bailey does.
I was thinking that same
Trailer
thing.
homes.
Trailer homes, yeah.
But also, it would be you'd have to quit, and that's your full-time job. Which is
I don't think so. I don't think like to grow as crazy
I
as
think-
he would on it. You do, but not if you're doing it as like
Mm.
you have, because he did it himself. He did all the
Oh, well.
stuff himself.
Would you not want to? At least your first one, right? Because don't you want to at least get an idea of what everything, how to do everything, and
I think it would be fun just to have the knowledge to do that.
yeah, and well, it's a useful life skill, and then you also get the kind of price it out by yourself. So, I mean,
That's
not
true.
likely. I don't think you'll get swindled if you find a good contractor, but you could get a price and then add some on because they cost. Paying people costs more.
Right.
I think you'd have a better idea, but also, if you could make it work that way the first try, then you could still work and hire other people.
Well, it's a good starting point either way. If you
Yeah.
were to buy a trailer, because, you might lose 10 grand, and then you have a trailer on the side that,
Yeah,
you get to fix up, you get the experience. So now, no matter what, it's kind of a win-win with trailers.
Yeah.
With
cheap.
houses,
I
it's a
think-
way bigger.
I think
way
you'd
bigger
get
ball game.
worse though with the trailer homes too. So you deal with all the bad, I think, because people don't take care of those.
No.
No.
I've
So
seen
you
some
get the
nice ones, though.
experience. You
Yeah,
get to
you
learn
can
how to
make 'em
rebuild
nice, but
everything.
I'd say more often than not, people don't give a shit because it's not an actual house; it's a trailer home. Is it? Are they called trailer homes?
It's
The
mobile
mobile
homes.
Mobile home, yeah.
Okay.
Trailer park, mobile
Same
home.
same
Yeah,
shit.
that's what I'm getting mixed
Yep.
up.
Yeah,
But I think it's a good way to start for sure.
100%.
You use way less capital.
Mhm. I will be starting. I'll be because we were gonna buy houses in Tennessee. Yeah, it was Tennessee, but they ended up. They're still good. They're still like everything makes sense with them. But we got another little contract people in Ohio, and their prices are way cheaper for way more income, like passive income every month. So we're actually planning to transfer over to buying houses in Ohio.
Are we all
instead.
doing that?
It's an idea for the group,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I started saving money for that immediately when they told me that.
Yeah, the 12.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
think
I'm
I
about
would-
$9,000 away, but
If I
It's
count
better
my
than me.
life insurance, I'm $6,000 in,
that's
Yeah.
not too
Halfway
bad.
there.
That's like halfway there. Yeah.
and only been a year, just over a year. Just barely got my 1-year paper.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Mhm. But I was also paying hella money for like 5 months, so
Yeah, 1,000 a month.
just
Were you
about
doing
yeah.
that too?
900. So I was paying an extra almost $700 in paid up additions.
Yeah. I dropped mine to 5
So did I.
because 1,000 was just not doing it for
Well, it
me at
wouldn't
this
be
point.
too bad for me, but my car's expensive as hell. It's $500.
Yeah.
If I got down that, saving money would be so much easier.
I agree. I've thought about buying an Oldsmobile. It just gets me from point A to point B.
It
but
crosses my mind a lot. Cause
at
I'm
that
like,
point, you're just going to be spending thousands into the car anyways to fix it up.
well,
So why
you could
not
get
just have a nice car?
$4,000 car that'd last you. But yeah.
I guess.
All
Like-
I'm saying is shit adds up. Especially when you're paying into your life insurance. It's not something you look at like your bank account every day and you're like, damn, where's all my money going? I don't spend that much. And then you're like, oh, I'm paying a shit ton every month for
I'm
this.
saving it.
Yeah, it's just you don't see it, so it feels like nothing's growing, and you're like looking at your bank account, scratching your head, like, what? I did not spend $1,000. I know I didn't.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Did you ever get yours? Not
They
yet.
They said no.
For how long?
Until mushrooms are legal.
Really? Shit. So never.
That's what he said. He's like, yeah, you're pretty much screwed until.
What if you went to a
they
different
change the
state?
laws. I don't
Still
know.
no?
Can you get a term life with that?
I bet you could. People get term life with way worse stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah, with cancer and shit, probably.
Well, when they're old, at least, too.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing.
Either way, we're getting off
Yeah, I was
track.
gonna say let's jump to finding an agent. So that's gonna be the next thing after you find your financing route, whatever you choose, hard money loans, crowdfunding. If you have a good credit score, probably the bank would be the best for you. What is that thing called? Peer-to-peer lending? Is that?
Yeah, that's what I think a hard money loan is.
Yeah, it's peer-to-peer.
What we're
lending.
talking about is peer-to-peer lending, yeah.
Okay. When you kind of ask your like family members or somebody else you know with a lot of money, I mean, generally it's going to be a higher interest rate, like we talked about. But after you find all that stuff, you're going to want to find a good agent. And he talks about the types of agents you need. I guess there's some bad ones. When he says if they say they're really good at something, they're not as good as they say they are.
Yes.
And some agents are better at selling houses, and some agents are better at finding houses. This is something that you just kind of have to shop around and talk to them. Maybe go sit them down for lunch and
Interview them?
interview them. He has a list of questions that he says you need to ask him. I can't bring those up to my memory at this moment, but
And that's so important, having a good agent, because they're going to take care of your property. They're going to find you properties. They're essentially
They're gonna
going to,
get all the money parts.
yeah, literally everything for you. You're just the one that's forking the money.
Yeah, they're gonna handle all your paperwork and everything for you.
They'll handle the contractors. Wait, do they?
No, that's you.
No. That's
You get the
Right.
the general contractor for that,
Yeah, that sounds
or like
right.
the foreman or whatever that handles all the little guys.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, agents, so important. It's going to save your life if you get into this market.
He also talked about if you don't want to get an agent or if you don't trust anybody, or if you're just generally interested in it, becoming your own real estate agent.
Yeah.
He says he recommends this for,
Everybody.
pretty much everybody. Well, he says depending, because some people, he's like, the worst part about becoming an agent is all the paperwork. He said he hates the
Yeah.
paperwork. And you can pay somebody to do that even.
Well, you can be an agent and use another agent.
Wasn't
I
he
think
saying
he was
that-
saying so you could always look at like the MLS,
Yeah.
so you could always be looking for deals.
And also, he said once he became an agent, he was saving 30 to 50,000 a year. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which is
Just,
it's worth it.
I mean,
like
it's
real
good
estate
knowledge.
or real estate agent fees.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good knowledge to have either way, because then you know what to look for, what you're doing when you're looking at houses. You put that much time and energy into it. He says, what did he say, like 100 hours he had to put into it, like a year?
To become an agent, I don't even think it was that long. I thought
No,
it was.
like 5 hours per year after the initial 100 hours, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like the first
Okay,
barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
a
just a couple
couple
$100.
$100.
Was it thousands?
Yeah,
thought
it was
it's
hundreds.
thousands.
Okay.
Because you got to go do all
Misheard.
of these classes. And, schooling's not cheap ever.
Yeah, it says it takes a long time, and by the time you're done with that, you might as well use it to your advantage,
Right.
So that's another route. I actually thought about doing that as well. I need to look up the prices on that, but I think that would be a good skill to have either way. And then you can, like he said, going deeper into the MLS, it's basically, isn't the MLS like another housing market platform?
Specifically for real estate agents.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
where they can look up deals that are upcoming before they even hit the market,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
for like real estate agent to real estate agent kind of stuff. I think.
It's like getting a peek behind the curtain, basically.
Yes.
Gives you an edge.
Yep.
And all right, next thing you're going to want to do is decide where you want to buy. And he calls this your farm area. So first you're going to want to determine how big you want your farm area, like how big the area of, you know,
How many cities you want to buy in, basically?
yeah, how many cities, what area you want to be in, how big you want it to be. He says to generally start small.
Yeah,
So that
one city.
Yeah, one city, so you can get to know the city, get to know the prices, get to know what type of people live there, all this different stuff.
Somewhere close by that you can drive past and check
Yeah.
up on your properties as well.
Exactly, somewhere close as well.
Yeah, that's what my dad did / does until he moved out of state as well with the houses, to where we could drive past any day of the week and you just see if they're keeping it up to date.
Well, that would
And
be
you-
good for rental properties, but flipping houses, you're not going to go to like Missouri to
No.
flip a house.
You
yeah,
could.
good point.
I mean, you could, but
You just probably wouldn't want to.
that's when you're like huge and you're just like, oh,
That would
find
be
a
have
house,
to-
flip that.
Yeah, it'd have to be something where you trusted someone there, like, completely with doing your work. You
Yeah.
hired them, just funneling money at that point. You
Mhm.
guys figure it out.
That's when the connections would come in.
Yeah, if you knew, like, if you were pretty good friends with contractors and stuff, and
Mhm.
ask them or something.
Yeah.
Or ask other investors in the area to.
Start golfing. Rumor has it that's where you find all your good connections with wealthy
I mean,
people.
it's the rich
Oh.
people's sport, so yeah.
That'd actually be fun to do because golf is lit.
Have you ever actually tried? Have you gone mini golfing? Shit's hard.
I like mini golf. I just like it
I'm
in
so
general.
terrible at it.
I'm terrible, but
That's-
it's fun.
I find it so boring. I would just end up getting fucking hammered and driving around on those little mini carts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they
Flipping
do
it.
anyway.
End up
Yeah.
on one of
That's
those videos into the fucking pool, into the pond.
It's too funny.
All right. And
So
then
we
the
were-
next point he brings up is what should you buy? This is going to be the next chapter. What you should buy. As flipping houses, you're going to want to look for houses that are in distress. Basically, something where they didn't really keep it up that well. It's got minor issues, nothing too bad unless you really want to go hard on a property. But things with small issues that'll drop the price enough to where they're willing to sell it for a better price because
People
there's
that
damage.
are in a hurry to leave,
Yeah.
just divorced, trying to move out quick for a job.
Yep. Have emotional distress. He talks about a story with that lady who,
Yeah.
like, her grandma died and she didn't want to go back to the house, so they offered her a deal to just buy it outright and take care of everything in it, and so she wouldn't have to go back to the property. And
Yeah.
she ended
Worked
up,
good for everybody.
yeah, basically worked out for everybody. So, yeah, just searching around. I mean, doing your due diligence, paying attention.
He sends out flyers and stuff and calls people, which I don't think that'd work. Well, I guess it works for him, but if I get stuff like that in the mail, I'd be like, what is this?
Yeah, it seems like this is a new era where people just aren't into that. Because you see those signs on the side of the road that are like,
Yeah.
trying to sell your house, contact this number. I'm like, I don't trust that.
No.
No, thank you.
No. Same with, I'll get texts all the time. Yo, we're looking to buy your house. I don't own a house, first off, and second, I wouldn't try to sell my house through a text. That's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the new generation of how
I was gonna
how things are going though.
People
So
are, I think, people that grew up on the internet are too skeptical of things. There's too many scams.
Yeah.
All of it.
So what would you say would be the best route to take, though, growing up in this new era?
I don't think there's advertising on like with Google AdSense and stuff on popular websites or podcasts or something.
that or drive around till you find a for sale sign and then call the agent, their agent, whatever.
Yeah, because they
and see if it's
talks
open
about
house.
door knocking and everything. Like, go away.
Yeah. No.
I don't trust that you're here to actually do something.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just us.
I
don't
think
know.
it's pretty universal.
Maybe
like,
it's because we live in Utah and we just
I don't think so.
skeptical of people. I don't know.
I've been done dirty one too many times, with car salesmen especially. So I'm not gonna trust you with my house. Yeah.
All right. Basically, what we're saying is find a way to market yourself effectively in this new realm of the internet.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't pretend to know what that
No
would be,
idea.
but
Yeah, and full disclosure, once again, we have never done this, so we're
It's just
basing
our
all
thoughts
this
and opinions.
information off of a book and our thoughts and opinions. So take that as you will. What's the next one?
Who to buy from?
Oh, we talked about that. People in distress.
Yeah, people in distress.
If you can find auctions, like when the city forecloses or something, not city, like banks, and then they sell them through the city, he says to do. But you have to have all cash when you buy those homes.
With what?
Auctions.
Oh yeah.
You have to have all the cash with you.
And that's where the bank has foreclosed the house, right?
Yeah, and then it goes through whatever process, and then the state's selling it for them.
Oh, okay.
Which right now would be a perfect time for that.
I think we're coming
'Cause
up on it soon.
What did they just cancel? Wasn't it the...
eviction moratorium?
Yes, that one.
That's still going? I thought
No,
that
they
ended.
canceled like last month.
Oh, okay.
But I bet
They try to
we're
keep it up.
another 6 months or into next year before we really start seeing homes go on sale, because it's a long. He says it's a long legal process. Before people, especially kicking people out while they live there.
That's gonna be
Weird.
hard.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as bad because I don't think Utah has squatters' rights, but a lot of other states do.
Squatters' rights. What is that?
So, like in California, if you live there, you stop paying rent, they can't kick you out.
Why?
It's squatters' rights. You live there.
That is batshit fucking
That is
crazy.
kind of really
That's
stupid.
he talks about it in the book, waiting until they leave the property and getting onto the property and saying, "Oh, it's mine now," because I bought it. And yeah, he has to basically jump onto the property real quick when they leave, and then like call the cops
That sounds
to make sure
like,
the cops be like, "No, this is his house." It's stupid. It really
Yeah.
makes no sense.
That sounds sneaky and just
Because they have
unethical.
stories of people living in homes for like 10 years.
Just sitting there, just not
Because
leaving.
they can't get kicked out because of squatters' rights.
What in the world?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Anyway,
It sounds fake, but
It does sound
it's
fake.
real life.
Yeah, that's nuts. But okay. So move to a red state to where they don't have that. Don't have squatters' rights.
or just find a deal where there's not a squatter, because I feel like I wouldn't deal with that. I just wouldn't do that. Just be like, no, get out.
Pass.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Or I'm not even gonna deal with that.
Yeah.
Seems like way too much like
It
stress.
could get done dirty though. If you were buying a house that already had renters in it, and you're like, heck yeah, and then they just stopped paying right after you bought the home, when you're like, oh, it's a new house, and maybe we gotta up the rent a little bit to pay for it. We're done paying.
That's what happened
And
with COVID.
You'd be fucked. Uh-huh.
So many people just,
You'd be
okay, I'm
screwed.
not going to
There's
pay.
literally nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
And then what? You can't. You gotta go, whatever, sell it to the bank or whatever, foreclose on it, ruin your credit.
That's tricky.
That's the risky part of buying apartments even.
Yeah.
Because, like, if they do another eviction moratorium,
Got shot
none of
down
them pay?
twice.
yeah, but still, for how many months did people just...
Yeah.
Not pay.
A lot.
and what do you do? Unless you're a multi-millionaire, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the average Joe can't just
Can't afford 3 mortgages.
come up with that, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's lots of risks in this market.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people that are like living in places and renting don't realize that their landlord probably isn't rich.
And
Yeah.
They're just
people
trying
too.
to make it. Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they are people, not a corporation. So
Yeah.
you're fucking over some dude that might live in another state. Even if he's got a lot of money, it might bankrupt him, you know?
Yeah.
You're living on an edge when you got $1 million in loans.
Enough people don't
If you
pay
had
rent.
4 or 5
you're
homes
screwed.
that didn't pay, you'd be straight out of luck. Literally nothing you could do.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about. Buy where they have good laws to where you
Yeah.
you can kick them out if you need to.
Yeah.
If they don't pay rent, kick him out. Then he goes into how to find deals, and we kind of talked about that. The MLS, you've got online auctions, direct market, advertising, wholesalers, just driving around looking for for sale signs.
Yeah. Calling people, the mailers, all
Mhm.
that stuff.
So another one is dealing with contingencies. So that's just where if there's any problems with the house or any like big events that happen, just prepare for it.
Are you talking about like structural damage or?
Yeah, I think it's like,
Yeah.
so when you get your loan and you've basically settled, you got to do an inspection. And if
Mhm.
there's something wrong, it gives you the opportunity to back out of buying the home.
Doesn't he say to do several inspections? and do
A
it
couple.
with them so that you know what you're looking for.
I think so.
Either way, that'd be smart to do.
Yeah, but
Like, huge.
basically, he says if you can get a contingency, do it, because then you get like a grace period. I think he called it, where you get like 10 days to get it out there and get an inspection to make sure there's nothing like major wrong, and if there is, you can pull out of buying the home,
Oh, okay.
or potentially, if that's something you want to deal with, get a lower price,
Yeah.
renegotiate.
I think that's another thing we skipped over too is negotiation. I think
Yeah.
learning how to negotiate is not just in flipping houses, but everything in life. Everything's a negotiation. Learn how to negotiate.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There's
Yeah.
actually a good book on that called what is that? You know what book I'm
I,
talking
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't
Yeah, I
know
just-
the
I
name of
forgot the
it.
name of
Is
it.
it one that we listened to?
No, we haven't listened to it. It's like shit.
Basically, learning how to talk to people.
Learning how to negotiate. It's I think Vince Vaughn or I'm totally butchering this. I'll post a link under this video about this book about negotiating. It's like the best book on negotiating, and it's a good one to listen to.
What does send the earnest money mean?
So, earnest money is where you pay someone to tell them that you're serious. It's like a down payment. So, like, before you used a contingency, is you'd pay them 10 grand or whatever. Say, okay, I'm serious about buying this home. But then you get your contingency period to, if you want to see if you back out, if something's way bad wrong, then I think you get your money back. But if you're like your loan went bad, you they get to keep the money because you wasted their time.
Okay.
So,
So it's
yeah, I
kind of
think
like
it's
buying an apartment where you give the
like
what is that called?
something deposit.
Yeah. Didn't you have to do it for your apartment?
What? Oh yeah, yeah.
What's it called?
Just a deposit.
Security.
Yeah,
Security deposit. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's
that
basically that.
essentially.
Yeah, because you wasted their time, but basically, yeah, you pay like 10 grand, and if your loan doesn't get to go through, you keep it. But if it does go through, they put that money towards the loan.
That's
Okay.
like everything you do. That's with tattoos, renting property, buying a house, basically anything.
Yeah.
Put a percentage of money down so they didn't, you're not wasting time. Just like
Yeah.
they're talking about.
Show that you're for real.
Yeah.
Pretty much just use common sense while doing it.
Find good, not attorneys. What do you call that person? A real estate agent. They'll tell you all this.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know way better than we're describing it.
Oh, easily.
Way better.
So,
I mean,
talk
that's
to
their
someone
job.
who knows and not us.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, basically just educate yourself on the houses, learn what they're all about before you actually get into the market. Make sure you know what you want, how you want it, what your goal is.
How much you're willing to spend on repairs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Here is talking about create your budget, what you're willing to spend, what you have to accumulate to be able to fix the rehab.
Yes,
That's what they call
how to find good contractors.
the houses flipping. And then create your schedule, how fast you want to get the project done.
Yeah.
How
what does it
fast you
say?
wanna
There
get it
shouldn't
out.
be a single day without someone working on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Goes through order, like having painters come in before cabinet people, so that they don't have anybody in the house, and it's quicker.
Yeah, there is a
Lots.
chapter on that where he talks about like what to do first.
What order?
Mm-hmm.
Talks about how to find a good contractor, unskilled labor versus skilled labor, lots of stuff.
And don't you have to find a contractor for every area? Because you have to
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
a contractor for painting, contractor to do carpets.
Yeah, because it had something to do with if you're hiring them a lot to flip houses in a certain area. If it's not this way where you're hiring out contractors and these contractors, the government might see it as you're their employer, and then you got to pay taxes for everybody. And like he talks about ways to write it up so that doesn't happen.
Mhm.
But if you consistently like use the same people and stuff, the government might see it on your taxes as they're employees of yours instead of you're contracting it out. So then you pay taxes and it might screw you over.
Taxes are another really good point about it is even if you're flipping houses, you're making what 30 to 70 grand, let's say.
If you're lucky,
Yeah,
I think 30 is on
Yeah, I think
the,
you
on
said
the ball. I think.
Yeah.
10 to 30 was going to be starting out if you're flipping houses.
mm-hmm. But either way, keep in mind the taxes are absolutely going to fuck you over. So you're not actually
Pretty
making that
horrendous.
much.
So do your research.
Yeah, do your research. Make sure you actually do want
Get a
this.
good CPA that's gonna know.
Yeah.
Talk
Good
about this
lawyers.
with tax-free wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Just get people around you that know what you need to know.
Mhm.
They'll tell you.
Yeah. Lots to learn. We don't really have experience in it yet. More to come on that.
Hopefully
But
sooner rather than later.
yeah,
but-
we are currently saving up to buy a house as a group. So that would be a really good experience for us all and to be
Mhm.
able to share with
It's
you
a good way to
guys.
start.
Yeah. Good learning experience, even if it goes to shit.
Yeah, that'll be some good info for the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll be able to speak about it and just go through our process and stuff. It'd be a lot.
Which we still
Some
need.
actual experience.
Some actual skin in the game.
Yeah.
We need to make contracts still.
Start talking,
it comes to
doing what
that.
we preach. What do you walk the walk, talk the talk?
Yeah. Well, first
Well, I
we need the
mean,
financing.
Yeah. But we're starting.
Lots
is
of
what I'm saying.
steps.
There's
Lots
so
of
many
steps to
steps.
get this done.
It's good
But
though.
we
I
will
mean,
get it
it's
done.
high risk, high work, high reward. You know.
Yeah.
Because if you can do one, if you start out with one, and like you was saying, refinance it and just jump to the next one.
It's a snowball effect for sure.
Yeah. Just gotta get
Once
the
you
ball
get it
rolling.
going, things go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, honestly. for sure.
Absolutely. Even though it'll be only a little bit of passive income, but just like what,
Well, I'm
100 or 200 extra dollars a month. That's so exciting
That's something.
and it's
that
not even
someone else is
about
doing for you.
the passive. It's about starting. I think.
Yeah.
The passive is a bonus because at this point we don't own a home. That's a start. That's a big start, you know.
Yeah.
And then you get passive on top of it, and we all know sort of at least what our plan is. So it's not like crazy to think. I mean, it's the first step on a long journey, hopefully.
And
Yeah,
that, and it's
absolutely.
it's gonna want. You're gonna want more after that. You know, it's gonna be so
hype,
exciting.
You're
It's
excited.
like-
Everything's finally going.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely the strat.
Mm-hmm.
Just get going.
hell yeah.
Absolutely. And we talked about it to listeners what our plan is, right? Or have we not really informed
I
them?
don't think not yet.
I don't think. Yeah, we have
I
talked
want to
about
wait
that.
until you get details hammered out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can just give them the brief overview. We're looking at houses in Ohio. We're all saving up $12,500 for it.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, that's about as far as we've gotten, because I mean, we still have to buy the house and go through all that steps, which we will keep you guys updated throughout the whole thing. And yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what time are we at?
We're about 38.
Perfect.
It's
Oh,
good.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's a basic, brief overview on the book, the book on flipping houses. That's what it's called, by Jay Scott.
Next time we're talking about the art of not giving a fuck.
The subtle art of
The
it.
subtle art of not giving a fuck. It's
I'm
a
not
great
sure
book.
who that's by.
Mark Manson,
Mark
if
Manson.
I'm saying that correctly, I believe. Yep, Mark Manson. That one's a really good one. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about that one next time.
We might be having a guest. It's in the works. I'm talking with Garrett still.
Oh, about Joe Darger Jr.?
Yeah, I don't know if he's a junior,
Um,
but yeah.
Oh, I guess either or, I think,
Yeah.
would work. Because
Either way, he's the goal. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Best of luck to Noah. He's currently in California, like we've mentioned before,
flying,
pursuing his his career. So
yeah, we might be
hopefully
having
you on next time.
a couple
Yeah.
podcasts that are a little bit like this. We might get Discord or what was the other one?
Zoom.
Zoom up and running so we can have him on when he's out. Gonna have to do it eventually if I'm, moving in a year. So things are gonna change a little bit, but we're
We'll
gonna
sort it out.
Yeah,
sort it out and keep trying to give you guys content every Tuesday. So
absolutely. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you later.
Peace out.
Bye.